Hello, 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 and welcome to the Sugar and Spice Mentorship Experience Career and Relationship Series. If you joined this webinar or you're listening to the replay, like me some years back, you want to make bold moves from where you are, from your current status quo, to a more desirable place. And I want to welcome you, and I want to say that you're in the right place. And I want to also tell you to sit back, relax, listen very carefully, for we're going to share steps or tips to move you from obscure to secure. But before we go on, I'd like to introduce myself. Um, so, my name is Ruth Igbe. I'm the lead mentor, the Sugar and Spice Mentorship Experience. I'm a HR leader, social entrepreneur with a background in engineering and experience in communication with a track record of excellence in human capital development and management. I'm also the author of Sugar and Spice, The Making of a Woman. That's the book that birthed this mentorship program, the platform on which this series is coming to you. The Sugar and Spice Mentorship Experience is our mentorship program. It's and also the platform that is presenting this series to you today. So, in addition to being the author of Sugar and Spice, The Making of a Woman, I'm a God certified personal development coach, especially for youth and women. I'm a writer. I go by the hashtag The Truth by Ruth. I'm also a HRCI certified global professional in human resources, John Maxwell certified speaker and trainer, and also a TIMFA certified relationship and marriage counselor. TIMFA is the Institute for Marriage and Family Affairs based in the United States. And I'm happy to be with you here. I'm happy to be presenting this series to you. It's a three-part series, and this is part one. I'm happy to meet you. I'm happy to get to know everyone here in the webinar and everyone that's going to be listening. Um, it's great to be here. It's great to be sharing this because I'm excited about, the things I'm going to share. But before we go on, first things first, this series, we talked about moving from here obscure to secure. This series and the content of this series is based on principles because true success in life is based on principles. The more principles you know and live by, the more successful you will be. But there's a limitation to our ability to live principle-based lives in every area of our life. Applying principles is difficult. If you're going to be honest with yourself, you're going to be honest with me, you know some principles, but applying them can be difficult. God established these principles. And so before we go on, let's connect with him. He established the principles and he definitely knows exactly how to apply them. Steps, he gives us the steps daily. And it's important for you to connect to the principle of these principles so that you can be empowered with the grace, you can be empowered with the ability to put these principles to work in your life and see the results you want. So we're going to say a word of prayer. Father, we thank you for today. Thank you for bringing us all together. Thank you for this opportunity to share your principles. Thank you because we know you're the one that established them. Today we ask you to come and establish them in our lives. Give us the power to do what you have told us to do, power to do what we need to do to move our lives forward, to make sure that everything that we are hearing, we're able to do. Come and fill us with your strength. Come and fill us with your power. Come and open our ears to understand and help us to comprehend enough to do the things that we have proposed and committed to do. We give you all the glory and all the praise, for in Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen. So we have that out of the way. So the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to look at the problem. The problem is clear. You have a lot that you feel you have to offer, but you are stuck in the background. You're hidden, you're unseen, and obscure. You feel obscure. You feel you're not being seen. You feel like the invisible man sometimes. You're working somewhere, people don't notice you. You're in a group or in an organization, it seems like, you're not there. because you're obscure, you're hidden. But you feel there's so much you have. There's so much you have in store. There's so much you have inside you. There's so much potential that is bursting to come forth. And you're like, what am I going to do? You have those potentials. Probably they are not activated, but some of them might be. But you want them to come alive so you can show them to the world. So maybe in your workplace, you have some skills, you have some abilities. There's something you have. You know that, look, if I bring this thing out, people are going to be wow, but you are stuck in obscurity and you are stuck also in insecurity. You might also not be sure about those potentials that you have. You're not sure that, people will like you if you come out, you've not been given the opportunity to show yourself before. And now you're not even sure if you'll be appreciated. So you just hold back. You just stay there. You're just stuck, paralyzed, sometimes. And then maybe some of us compare ourselves with others and we're like, no, I can't ever be like this. I can't ever shine like this. Let me just stay in my corner. You know, you know, that's the problem. You feel stuck. And we're going to, in the course of this course or this part of the first part of this series, you will learn to understand how you're going to move out from that stuck state to where you want to be. So understanding the fact there's something inside you. That's the first thing I want to establish here, is that there's something inside you that has been programmed to come out for the world to see and enjoy. There's something inside you. It's very clear. Don't be don't doubt the fact that you are filled with potential. You are. You have potential. You have value. Something inside you is bursting for the world, is trying to burst out from you for the world to see. Everyone is born with a future that is bright. It's in our destiny to grow, to shine, to manifest, to come out. It's in our destiny. It's been programmed in our destiny, in our DNA, to be seen, to shine. And that's why the good book will say, arise and shine, for your light has come. So, that bright future does not come fully. It comes as potentials. So you need to now arise out of that potential. To turn that potential to reality, there's a nature to acquire, there are mindsets to change, and there are moves to make. That's why you will say, arise, shine. So there's something that needs to come in. There's a mindset that has to change. There's a move that has to be, there's an action, there's a part you will have to play. There's a part that you might not need to play. All you need to do is put yourself, in the space, or acquire the right nature, and then begin to, go through some mindset change, and then start taking some actions. There's something you have to do. There are parts that you might not have to do anything, but there are many things that you need to do to bring those potentials that are within you to life. There are many things you need to do to bring them to life. It's your destiny to grow, to rise up and to shine. I want to, emphasize that point, because sometimes we just feel that there are some people that should shine, some people are not meant to shine. It's not in our destiny to rise. It's not in our destiny to. Everybody, a light is in your destiny. It's just like a seed. A seed is meant to grow into a tree. It's in the seed. It's been programmed into the seed to grow into a tree. A foundation is meant to rise into a building. People don't just start to build foundations underground, and that foundation doesn't have any purpose outside the ground, or doesn't have any, manifestation outside the ground. A foundation is meant to rise into a building. And then a lamp is meant to shine its light where it is placed. So everywhere a lamp is, that lamp is meant to shine. So if you hide the lamp, there's no use for that light unless it is put in a place where it can be seen and where it can light the whole place. So I want you to have these pictures in mind. There's a seed in you, a seed of greatness in you, and that seed of greatness has to grow into a tree. And when a seed germinates, it comes out where people can see it. In the ground, you're not seen, or a foundation when it's being built, it's not seen. A lamp that is hidden, it's not seen. But when that seed germinates, when that foundation becomes a building, When a lamp comes out into, a room or a dark place, it begins to shine. So whether you avoid or embrace your destiny, it will still remain your destiny. But to turn that destiny to reality, you need to do the right things. Your time in obscurity is your opportunity to prepare for visibility. So as a seed, the seed is supposed to be in a ground for a certain time. So the obscurity you might be experiencing now, it's not bad in itself. All you need to understand is, okay, am I doing the things? Am I in the condition where I will translate from this obscurity into more visibility? So it's for you to understand this current state that I'm in. What's going on? What's going on now that I'm obscure? And is it just because I'm hidden? Is it is the problem just because I'm in the ground, I'm hidden? Or is it there's something that has to come in? Is there something that needs to be done in the time of obscurity? What I'm here to tell you is that your time in obscurity is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to prepare for the times of visibility. So you must um, you must subject yourself to the process. So a seed has to get into the ground. A seed has to get the right environment. A seed has to be nurtured in a certain way so that it can grow into a tree. So for a seed to grow into a tree, for a light to be seen and enjoyed, for a foundation to rise up into a building, there are processes. There's something that has to be done. There's something that has to come out. There's something that has to break out of the ground. There's like a building project that has to happen. So the foundation is built, it has to be packed. When a foundation is built, there's a lot of reinforcement that goes into that foundation. So you mix concrete, you check the stone, you break the ground, then you dig in, then you pour concrete, you dig all the holes. These are processes for the foundation to turn into a building. If a seed is in the ground, that seed has to be watered. That seed has to be in good ground. So there's also a process that a seed goes through for it to come out. Even a light, if that light is hidden somewhere, somebody needs to go pick out that light from where it is. Maybe tune it up. If you picture a lamp, like all these old lamps we used to have, that you can tune down the wick or tune up the wick. So the light might be there, but it's low and you need it to shine more light. You tune it. There's something, the idea is that there's something that needs to be done. There's a process to move from that obscurity. There's a process to translate. So if you're in that state, just understand that, yes, this is your destiny. You have this potential. This is something that has to happen. It's already programmed to happen. But there are things that must happen to you or to whatever it is that you have to begin to move you from this state to the other. So one of the things we need you to understand in this series is that there's something, you can't just expect that things will change. The law, Newton's law, that's the basis for this series. Newton's law of motion, I think it's the first law, the second law says, nothing changes from its position until there's a force that comes to move it. I'm just using layman's terms. Everything remains in that position. Your life will remain in the position it is unless there's a force that comes to shift it out of that position. So the process of growth, the process of enlightenment and establishment, because a seed grows, a light enlightens, and then a building is established, requires the right essence. So, for instance, a seed has to have the nature of a seed. A stone cannot germinate. It looks like a seed, but it will not germinate. So that nature, the right nature has to be on ground because that is where it's in the nature that the programming, the everything is encapsulated in the seed. So that encapsulation is the nature. That's what gives the seed the right to germinate. The right environment also needs to be put in. That's nurture. So who you are, what you expose yourself to, and what you do in obscurity determines the level of your future security. I'm emphasizing that again. I'm re-emphasizing it. The quality of your processing determines the security of your projecting. So you're destined to project. But then process, what processes have you subjected yourself to? Have you subjected your seed to? have you subjected that building project to? Have you subjected your light to? What have you done with your what is being fed into your consciousness? What is being fed into your nature? Is there something that is changing? If nothing is changing, then most likely you're not going to step into that journey that translates you from obscurity to security. So you have to be sure you are aligned to the process. You have the right nature, the right nurture, and you are subjected or aligned to the process that will move you on. I needed to get that out of the way. So what is the process? Steps. There are steps to moving from obscure to secure. And in this series, I'm going to be talking about 5 steps in the process. It's in no particular order, but you must understand that these 5 steps, if you start applying them, if you start taking those steps consciously, anyone can move from the backstage of their lives, their careers, their vocations to the center stage, where their gifts can find expression and be appreciated in line with the master's design. So you are designed to be appreciated. You're designed for your gifts to be seen. That's the design of the master. There's nobody that can argue with that. And you have to have that confidence that there's something in me, there's a potential in me. But one thing you must always remember is that thing comes as a seed. It just comes in a form that might not be good enough, to be seen. If a seed comes, the seed doesn't have all the qualities of a tree. And people might wonder, what's this seed doing? It looks insignificant. And so you might be looking insignificant. You might be looking like you don't have so much. That's because you have not developed. That's because the things that need to translate you into that point where, oh, you're now significant or you're now appreciated have not been done. Not because it can never be done, but it has not happened yet. So there are steps to take to make it happen, to come out to the limelight, not just for the sake of coming out to the limelight, but to come out because the gifts that are in you, the things, the value that is in you is coming out. Now, let me not go too fast. Let's just take the steps now. Okay, so step 1, you have to build virtue. That's the step 1 for this, for moving from obscurity to security. Virtue is a trait or quality deemed to be morally good and is thus is valued as the foundation of principle and moral being. I'm giving you the dictionary meaning. Yeah. Basically, virtue are qualities that make you good. Good qualities that you need to walk by. Good qualities of life, the nature, the right nature, the right character, the right nature in your being is what virtue means. That's the foundation of principle. So we're talking about following principles, but the foundation of principles is that ability, that nature that is ingrained. And virtues are best cultivated early, but they can be learned by an adult that recognizes gaps in their character and commits to making a change. And through proper education, instruction, training, coaching, and mentorship, can now cultivate them. But I want to tell you something, and I want to say it from experience. This nature, this nature of morality, this foundation of principle is something that cannot be done, humanly speaking. Let me say that again. Humanly speaking, it cannot be done. And I want you to know that, humanly speaking, we already have a nature that conflicts with doing the right thing. It's already in our nature to want to. In human nature, that's why a lot of people say that's human nature. We have a tendency to do wrong than to do right. And so when we are talking about this step, we're still going back to the principle. This step is vital because it's the principle that enables us take on the nature that can enable us live the life of virtue. So what happened is that we can't do it on our own because of the state that we were born in, because of the state man was born in, because of something that man did long time ago. He was born in a state that struggles with doing the right thing, with living a virtuous life. And so what did God do? What did the principal do? The principal gave himself. So what he did was he gave a price, he gave a gift. So somebody had to stand in for us, pay the price to restore the nature that can achieve these things. So it's good to have a virtuous life. Some people can attempt it on their own and try to live a virtuous life. But I want to tell you, it's very difficult. It's just like a seed trying to germinate. The seed can try, you can bring clones and can try and patch branches here and there. But a lot of times it's difficult because the nature is not there. And to get that right nature, you have to open up to the Creator, to His gift of redemption, of salvation, and then begin to walk. So you now have the ability to walk a virtuous life. I needed to say that because, sometimes some people just want to, do it on their own, and it's honorable. It's honorable, but if you really, really want to make that nature, if you really want to do it out of the right nature, then you need to get that nature. And there are processes to it, further understanding for you to know exactly what to do. And that can come up later. There are many ways to find out. You can also get back to me. All our details and all our contact details are there, so we can talk more about it. But the step one in moving from obscurity to security is building virtue. The step two is build value. Build value. We talked about you having potential. That potential is value. That potential is something of worth. Value is something of worth, and everybody has worth in raw form. Remember, we said it's potential. So it's in raw form, it's in a form that has not yet come out. It requires development. So raw talent is not enough. It's just like a diamond in the ground. That diamond has not yet been refined, or crude oil, for instance. That's my best analogy for this. Crude oil is worth a lot, but no one can use crude oil the way it is. It has to be refined. It has to be refined. So countries that can't refine, they might have this resource called crude oil, but because they can't refine it, it's not useful to them. But the countries that can refine them now take it and refine it at a high cost. And that's what happens to you when you refine your when you refine yourself, when you refine those potentials, when you turn those raw talent to skills, then it has more worth. And then you see what happens, that you've developed, you're getting more, things are getting better. So you're in a form or in a state that actually can come out, that people now can, see is something that is a value, something that is of worth, yes, but also of recognizable worth. So gifts, talent, abilities become skills, competencies, and capabilities when they are refined through the same process required in building character, education, instruction, application, and experience. So we've talked about it. As you refine yourself, you become more, you have better character, and you become more competent. So the things that you know that are raw, the talents, yes, you can sing, yes, but you go and you go to singing school and you learn to sing better. You learn to project your voice. You learn to manage the stage. All those other skills, additions come into your life, and they make you better. So they improve your worth. So you need to build your worth. You need to build your value. As you build your value, you begin to step out of obscurity into visibility, which is, because the value is that you're secure in it. You understand this is what it is. That's what we're talking. When we're talking, it's not particularly moving from obscurity to visibility, because the process is key. You don't just become visible, but it's to be confidently visible. And that confidently visible is secure. It's the security. If not, you can be visible but not confident, and it leads to all sorts of insecurities. And that's why the movement is not particularly from obscurity to visibility alone. There must be the right processes factored in, so that move can be from obscurity to security. So you're secure in your visibility. I wanted to say that. So let's go to step 3. You must have vision. You must have vision. So we're talking about a journey. We're talking about movement. You have to move from one point to another point. And the picture of that other point is the vision. It can see, if you have a desired goal, if you have a preferred future, it can be in form of dreams that become objectives and goals. It motivates us to action and outcome. Dream is something you're seeing. Other people might not be seeing it, but you want to see, you want to go somewhere. But if that place you want to go is not clear to you, it's going to be, you will not be able to take the steps. So where do you want to be? That visibility, have you pictured it? Have you captured it? The greatest gift God gave to man is vision. A person with vision can achieve more than one with only physical sight. Vision communicates purpose. And it feeds into your state. If you are sure you have a what you're going to, and you know the why, that's the purpose. And you're catching it communicates purpose, and catching God's vision for your life is the first step to aligning to God's purpose for your life. There's a reason the Creator made you. He has a why for your life. And knowing that why makes you, secure. And having that clear picture increases your security and confidence, and you are able to take those bold steps to move out of where you are and begin to move into that purpose, that picture that you have. When you have a clear vision, when you have a clear vision, you will be motivated into action. You'll be motivated to make changes. When you don't have a clear vision, you will not be motivated to action, because there's nothing motivating you. There's no sure. You see, when somebody knows where they're going, if you want to travel now, you want to travel you don't have any destination. The action of a man without a destination is different from a man who has a goal. You have a destination. You go to or the airport, you pay for the right ticket to where you're going to. So the man with a clear picture or a man with a destination acts with more confidence than someone who doesn't. So in that workplace, where do you want? Okay, you're in this role that seems to be this. They're not seeing me here. I am. I'm just an officer. Okay, so where do you want to be? What are the steps? Where do you want to move to? I have a lot of people that I ask, okay, I want a promotion. I want to move ahead. All they're thinking about is maybe to earn more money. But are you thinking about what is the next responsibility? What would I be doing at that level? You need to make it clear. Have vision. Vision is very, very key in moving in consolidating your sense of security, because it makes things, when you have clarity, you are more secure. When you have clarity, you have security. Let me just put it that way. So the next step, let's go quickly. Amplify your voice. When I say voice now, I need to explain that it has to do with how you are heard, and then also how you are seen. So I'm using voice or amplify your voice and visibility. So you must be heard, you must be seen. It's important to be audible and visible when you are to take the center stage. Imagine an actor. If an actor does not show up to the center stage, you can't act. You are not in the place where people can see the skills, your acting skills. And then you're speaking and you're speaking low. An actor comes to the stage bold and amplifies their voice. They project. So your voice affords you the opportunity to introduce yourself to your world, introduce your skills to the world, express yourself and your words, and also present your opinions and suggestions to improve what already obtained. So by coming out, by bringing your voice to the table, by showing up, it's an opportunity not just to introduce yourself, but it's to express those skills or gifts you've worked on. So there are opportunities for you to now step out. So you're in the office, and then there's a project, and they're asking who's going to work on this, and you're, no, I don't want to be seen. No, you step out. It's okay, I'll do the research and I'll do the presentation. So somebody, you're having a seminar or having a meeting, and people are asking questions. You ask questions. So you amplify your voice to express yourself, to express your worth, and then to present opinion. So you need to be heard. What you think in your head, it cannot help anybody in your head. It needs to come out, and people need to now see it and appreciate it, and then it it's the value that you're bringing to the table. And when you bring value to the table, definitely, you begin to move out from obscurity into security, or into secure visibility, in other words. In the world, there are many voices and expressions, but God has given us the gift of uniqueness, which we must allow to come through when we amplify our voice and make ourselves visible. So it's not about just amplifying your voice, trying to copy someone else's voice. No, that's why I said amplify your voice, amplify your visibility. It is yours. That talent, that skill, that ability God has given you, it is yours. Amplify it. Amplify it. Stand out. In a world where there are many voices and expressions, your uniqueness can show by when you amplify that voice, then people can now see how unique you are. It also talks about how visible you are, maybe in the digital space. What's your CV like? What is your profile like on social media, especially the professional social media, LinkedIn? How do people see you? That's how to amplify your voice or amplify yourself. So these things are how you express all that you have done, the processes that you've gone through. So through that amplifying your voice, people are able to see and validate the processes that you've gone through. And they can say, oh, of course, yes, true. He has really or she has really done this. And then as more opportunities come, you're showing more of yourself. And then that value is not just because you just want to shine. You're not shining for shining's sake. A light is there to cast away darkness and, light the room for everyone. If you come into a dark room and something is missing and you're groping around, and then a light comes, those things are found easily. That's what your light is. Once you come in, solutions come. So be confident to amplify your voice. If you know that you're standing in your purpose and you're bringing value and you're working virtuously, be confident to amplify your voice. So building character, for instance, is just like building a foundation, but that foundation needs to come out. That foundation needs to carry a building. That's what it means to amplify your voice. You now want to put a building on that foundation. So you need to be seen. But first of all, what is being seen? Is it worthwhile? Is it my value? Is it my uniqueness? Or am I just trying to just be visible to boss around? No, it's not just for yourself. It's not just about you, but the value that God has put in you that you need to bring to the table. Finally, you have to function at a vantage position. Ah, a vantage position is a place, usually a high one, that affords you a clearer view of life. Sometimes when you're talking about visibility, there are enablers of visibility. A vantage position gives you a wide or advantageous perspective. So you're building your value, you're trying to be visible and all that. When you have a higher perspective and you have the advantage of other viewpoints, you're able to express yourself, or you're able to develop yourself better. You're able to even show up better, because what it does is that it fine-tunes your responses. Having the right perspective, or having a perspective that is fed by different viewpoints, you are better off. So the network where you are positioned, in the midst of, who are you positioned in the midst of? Who do you have inside giving you direction? Who are you working with? So when you have a close walk with God, great network of friends, counselors, mentors, instructors, that's a vantage position. That's what, because those people are in positions where they can decide things, where they can make core decisions that affect your life. And so if you're within that um, group, you have a walk with God, you have a great network, you know, they guide you, they give you input, they support with feedback to help you leverage your personal resources, they boost your personal capacity, they give you the feedback, say, I know you didn't do this well, so you fine tune it. So they're giving you opportunity to fine tune yourself, and then they help you improve on your personal results, because they even open up opportunities for you, because they are placed in some other, you know, strategic places. And so if you are in their space, definitely you'll be propelled to some of the spaces that they function in. So function from a vantage position, and that gives you, who do you know, who are you working with, and all that. That's the step 5. So now that you know all these 5 steps, are you ready to manifest? Are you ready to manifest? What use is a seed that never sprouts, a foundation without a building, and a light that is hidden? What use? What use? So you must step out into the limelight. Nurturing that seed of greatness in you will help you step out. Raising a solid building of competence upon the foundation of character you have developed will help you stand out. uncovering the light within you and letting it shine for the world to see is your responsibility. And that's what I'm going to say. So make it happen. If you are ready to manifest, make it happen. So you have the steps, you have the tools, you have the resources. Look through it. Watch this video again if you need to. Watch the replay if you need to, and get these tips down. Think about yourself, think about your life, think about how you're going to apply these principles. And most of all, hook on with the principal who will help you apply these principles. So if you got questions, you want to get in touch with us, these are our details. Just look at them very carefully. I know you have questions and we're going to be looking at that, but hit me a DM on social media. These are my social media handles. My website is available for you. You can hit me a message, you can contact me, and I'll answer all the questions as God gives us the grace to do so. So it's been great having you. It's been great talking. It's been great sharing on how to move from obscurity to security. I hope you're going to make that move and manifest very soon. So take care. We've come to the end of this webinar series. Join us for the second part. Definitely, the second part is going to be better. So join us. I'll see you in the next class.